Very shortly, we'll be talking to Hollywood stars Channing Tatum and Naomi Ackie, who have hot-footed it from the premiere of their new film Blink Twice, which follows the story of a billionaire with a very dark secret. You won't want to miss our chat.
No, but before that, let's say hello to our first guest tonight, who's a powerhouse of stage and screen. It's David Harewood.
Powerhouse.
David.
Yeah, you are. I like being
are.
described as a powerhouse.
Well, you are definitely powerhouse now, because since we saw you, congratulations, you've been made president of RADA.
President of the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. Yeah, very, very proud.
Can
Very,
you
very
believe
proud.
it? Because obviously you attended. I mean, if you knew then that you one day would become president, would you have believed it?
No. Look, it's a real honour, and my vice president happens to be Cynthia Erivo, who's superb, and she's touring now with Wicked. So I think we're going to make quite a powerful pairing.
Yeah.
I just think, don't you think it suits you so well?
Oh,
like, if you were
so
to go,
well.
like, if you went to America and someone said, so what do you do? And you're like, I'm the president of the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. And you're like, wow, okay.
Do I have to raise the eyebrows?
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But look, let's cut to it. We spoke to David Morrissey last week, and
yeah?
of course we were talking Sherwood. It is back. You have joined. The cast is unbelievable. The likes of Robert Lindsay in there, of course.
It's really exciting.
But am I right in thinking that this role for you came about a little bit unexpectedly?
Totally. I was kind of I was kind of sitting at home, and I think it was like the weekend before they started filming, and I think somebody had dropped out or something didn't quite work out, and I got this sort of panicked text from James Graham saying, "Are you around? Are you available?" And I kind of said, "Yeah, so sure. What?" And he sent me the sort of the idea, and I then because I missed the first season because I was in North America. So I very quickly watched season 1 over the course of the evening, and literally the next morning I said, absolutely, I'm in. Wow. So I had about 3 days to kind of
sub
pull a character off the bench.
Super sub.
Got off the bench and created this really wonderful, lovely little character, which is great.
I mean, it is super popular, Sherwood, and the first one was based about 10 years ago, and it was looking at the community and the effect that the miners' strike had had. There was 2 murders based on real-life events.
Right.
Where does the story pick up then at the beginning of the second series?
Well, I guess this one picks up about 2 years after that, and whereas the first one was really around the miners' strike, this one really centres on the sort of effects of deindustrialisation and how that impacted the community up there. And it's inspired by real events, that's what makes James such a genius, because it is inspired by real events, but James manages to craft a story which is both police procedural and state-of-the-nation art as well. So it's got a little bit of something in it for everybody, and it draws you in. There's some great narratives, some great performances, and as I say, it was wonderful to join such a great cast of actors.
Amazing cast, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Let's take a look at some of the problems the community are now facing.
There is such a thing as a mood, or a culture that is hard to see, hard to define, but it can grip a place.
They were gang-related then?
He was an execution.
Blood for blood.
It's code. We're out with nothing.
Same about today.
Talking about me or the gun?
It's on a knife edge out there. This could upset the balance.
I go down, you go down.
It's a gathering storm, and I'm worried about anyone who's at the centre of it.
Oh, very good indeed.
That's awesome.
Very good. And look, you know, you spoke about this role. It's a little bit different to what we're used to seeing you. I mean, we've seen you as CIA director in Homeland, you're, of course, a US agent in The Night Manager. How was this one kind of different for you, and how did it differ from those roles?
Oh, I mean, it was completely different. I mean, the character I play is really an everyman, a real innocent, actually. And I mean, talk about how different he was. I mean, normally I'm wearing these power suits and you know, big ties and stuff.
Yeah.
And I sort of walked into a wardrobe for my costume fitting, and there were some of the worst clothes I've ever seen in my life. But they were so right. They were kind of perfect for the character. And you know, sometimes you can kind of start. You can sit there in wardrobe and kind of go, "Oh, that's not going to work." But it just these things just really kind of like zinged out, and they were. Almost stuff like my dad used to wear. But they were just perfect for the role. And as I say, he's a really wonderful character. And I'm working alongside the wonderful Charlene White, who's just perfect and beautiful. And it was a real pleasure.
Well, one of the things about your character, he likes a bit of metal detecting.
Oh, he does?
Detectorists.
And I've heard that you've actually taken it up a little bit yourself. You've enjoyed it.
What have you found? What have you found? Come
Not
on.
really. The only detectoring I do is trying to find my car keys. You know, 'cause
Right,
literally
okay.
every time I walk out the house, I can't find my keys. So I'm like, you know, I'm looking in, and then my wife will go, "It's here."
Getting the prop out from home. It is the metal detector around the sofa like that. Yeah.
And it's exam results month, of course,
Yes.
and we hear big celebrations in the Harewood household last week.
Massive congratulations to my youngest, who is off to university. Going to be a bit sad having an empty house, but I'll have two kids at university in September, which is great.
Fantastic. Well, Sherwood returns this Sunday night at 9 o'clock on BBC One and on iPlayer.
Yeah, and Sherwood isn't the only must-watch thriller this week because Hollywood stars Channing Tatum and Naomi Ackie are in the building, and very shortly they'll be telling us about their gripping new blockbuster Blink Twice. Right, now it is time to say hello to our next guests who have joined forces for a brand new Hollywood thriller all about a billionaire boss who's hiding a dark secret. Please welcome Channing Tatum and Naomi Ackie.
Look at me! Nobody see?
Guys, welcome.
Nice to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Oh, it's so nice to have you.
Yeah.
We had.
I mean, look, really quick. I mean, Naomi, you had to rush through London rush hour to get here straight from the UK premiere of Blink Twice, your brand new movie. Yeah. Is it nice to be on home soil? Is there something extra?
It actually, like, weirdly makes me more nervous, but also more calm at the same time. Like, I don't know how to quite explain it.
Okay.
And it's also nice now that I'm going back to my own bed.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sorry, babe.
I don't know what that means.
That's actually lovely.
Channing, we saw the movie this afternoon.
Oh, did you?
We really loved it, didn't we? We thought it was brilliant. And without giving too much away, it's kind of a thriller, but there's some comedy bits in there as well. And you just do not know what's going on until the very end. How much can we tell people at home? Can we give them a flavour?
Yeah, look, it is a hard movie to talk about because, you know, you don't want to spoil anything.
No.
But lots of movies nowadays specifically, I think you have to kind of pick a lane, whether it's going to be really substance and art and it can kind of be like hard and maybe too dark to watch in a way. Or you have to be fully just like full entertainment and no real substance. And I think Zoe did an unbelievable job at like the tone of the movie. I'm obsessed with tone in film, and the tone is really, really special. It almost changes tone in a very specific point with Naomi's character and Algeria's character, and you're just like, what just happened? And then you're kind of you feel like you should be running and screaming and crying, and then but you're sort of laughing through the moments
and cheering and getting excited and totally.
Yeah. It is fantastic, but I mean, we have the president of the dramatic arts right here, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. Psychological thrillers, David. How do you feel about that? How does the president feel about that?
I can't wait to see it. It's like one of those, you know, I'm just hearing you talk about it. That's the juicy stuff about, you know, tone and stuff.
Yeah.
Juicy stuff. So you want to go to a cinema, you want to go to a movie and be entertained on so many different levels. This is going to be. I'm keen to also. Do you base your character on any billionaire in particular?
No, if anything, we actually did the opposite because Zoe started writing this 7 years ago, before the Me Too movement, before any of these nefarious humans that has come to light now and all their horrible atrocities. So we really didn't want that to like overtake the film and being like, oh, this is some, I don't know, we're just mocking this person. And so we kind of really decided to do the
and you don't guess who it is at all.
No, not at all.
But it's a real ride, David.
Oh, I
Let's
can't wait.
have a look at what people can expect.
How about we start at the beginning?
We're going to my island for a few days.
Do you guys want to come?
This is crazy. Did we just jet off to a billionaire's island with a bunch of strangers?
Oh, he's not a stranger. He's Slater King.
You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do.
I'm having a great time here. But I also have this feeling that I'm like not. There's something wrong with this place.
It's almost like it's knowing the film now. It's hard to applaud it.
I know.
Almost like,
What's so weird about it?
Terrifying.
It's really strange with the
very
movies that the
strange
themes of this is that it talking about it like it's entertainment.
Yeah.
But it is amazing. And Naomi, you play Frida.
Yes, I do.
And you said, I've seen before, you said that this is a character you feel like there's parts of it you could actually relate to.
100%. I know what it feels like, and I feel like a lot of people know what it feels like to have dreams, have ambitions, and have no clue of how to get there.
Yeah.
And I think out of that frustration comes this just want for generic power. You just want the power to like, or you want to be as close to it as possible. And I think, especially when I was younger, I really struggled with that, especially as an actor trying to break through. And so that was my kind of gateway into understanding Frida for sure.
Yeah. And Channing, it's quite a different role for you. I mean, especially towards the end. Did you,
Don't ruin anything.
I'm not. But you know, did you enjoy kind of doing something completely different?
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I think getting a chance to stretch and do something new and different is what I think we all try to decide, you know, on some level to try and do. But this one was a weird one in the way that I always usually kind of would pull something from my own actual personal life or personal experience and put it in, and that or that would be my way into the character. And this one I just couldn't really do that with.
And thank goodness for that.
I don't know if I'll ever tell anybody really what I actually created in my head to make this guy. It's really weird and really dark sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was definitely strange and scary. But I got to be honest, Zoe really helped me with that. Like where you're afraid to go too far, and is this like, I don't know, is this even understandable or intelligible? And she would always bring it back to some little like emotional moment or just some really strange thing of like, give me boop her. Just boop her on the nose after this really weird part of the movie. I don't want to give anything away. And I'm like boop? Like boop her? Like super bad boop?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it's going to be crazy. And I'm like, you're
crazy.
sick puppy. You are not well. And I'm so scared like right now.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Naomi, when someone thinks about, you know, going into acting, I'm sure, David, you've been there. It can be really tough, those long days, sometimes terrible locations. This one, Tropical Island.
Mexico.
Tropical Island. I mean, what was that like? I mean, was it tough?
You know, weirdly, like, yes and no. Like, beautiful landscape, amazing weather. When you're lying down doing nothing. When you are rolling around in the dirt. Running for your life.
Yeah.
I mean, the sun was so intense at certain points, and you're working like, you know, like 12-hour days, sometimes more. It could get pretty intense, you know, like Gina Davis. We nearly lost Gina Davis.
We almost lost an acting icon in itself. That would have been our fault.
That would have been
it was. We had to do the scene outside, and it was one of the hottest days.
It was one of the hottest days, and we were all like in like kind of clothes like this, really. And she just got sunstroke, and it was like really intense.
I wouldn't tell that story because your insurance companies are going.
Now the movie's over.
I can't fire us now.
But you'll get to like live together in the film as well. Like we see that, and I mean, what was it like? You know, having the cast members almost as housemates. I mean, is Channing a good housemate?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I didn't.
You have to say that right now.
Yeah, of course I do. You're right next to me.
No, it was though.
It was really, really fun, and like also knowing that like we all became really fast friends in a way because we wanted to, and also because we knew that was going to be the key into it, like to create an ensemble piece that felt like you were all on an island having an amazing time. So then, we were next door. You know, you knock on each other's door. Do you want to have a bit of mezcal?
It would be like filming right outside like your door, and you'd be getting ready to go outside to breakfast or something, and they're like rolling.
Yeah.
No.
You're like,
just gonna
give it 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
So happy in the morning, though. I mean, easy, isn't it? You know, you're not going to be late, are you? And you mentioned Zoe Kravitz, and obviously people love her as well, acting. I mean, she's amazing. Big Little Lies, Catwoman. She directed this.
Oh wow.
Fair to say, you two got on pretty well.
Pretty fair to say. Yeah. So fair that we might get married.
Congratulations.
Well, we'll see how the movie does if she still wants to marry me.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. So we actually, I didn't know Zoe before. A friend of mine, Riley Keough, texted me and she's like, hey, I have a friend that wants to send you a script. And I was like, great. And I thought she just was going to be producing it or something and was going to be in it with me. But I had one meeting with her. I'd never met her before. And you could tell, she didn't say it out loud, but you could kind of tell that I was like, I think she wants to direct this thing. And the script was so bold. I mean, I hadn't really read anything like it. I mean, and it's gone on such a journey from where I first read it to now where it is. And she is, you would never know it's a first-time director. You really wouldn't. I bow down, because she's a relentless creator, and this won't be the last movie that she makes. I can guarantee.
Wow.
Oh, nice. And we have to mention Richard Osman. He's on this programme a lot.
Yeah.
And of course, you're part of the Thursday Murder Club.
Yeah.
How's that?
It's great.
What is this?
Thursday Murder Club.
You know, it's based on Richard's books. There they are, the
Richard
cast
Osman's
there.
books. And it's incredible. I'm having the best time. I'm actually going back to work tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm back on
Hasn't
set
Richard
tomorrow.
given you a day off, considering you're having the premiere
No, he
tonight?
hasn't. And can somebody talk to him about it?
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
Have Zoe call him.
Zoe's
She's really good at that. She's
She's
very
good.
good.
No, it's incredible, and the cast is insane.
Fantastic.
And I'm having a really brilliant time. Yeah.
Well, come back and tell us all about it closer to the date.
Yeah.
You can watch Blink Twice in cinemas this Friday.
Yeah, we have had so many messages. Commenter Charlie for David says, an instantly recognisable voice. David is a very talented actor. And this for Naomi. Lucy says, I watched Naomi in I Want to Dance with Somebody. She was incredible. Felt like it was watching Whitney. So nice. And Gary's written in saying, can you say hi to a fellow Washwood Heath comp pupil from Brum, please? David apparently.
Yes, that's my whole school. So. Very good.
Now, just before we go, we are going to leave you with some brilliant news for a Monday. You may remember a few months ago we showed a film about the legacy of the Anthony Nolan stem cell register, and in it we met 5-year-old Issa, who has a serious blood condition, and the only way to cure it is with a stem cell transplant.
Yeah, and after we showed that film, the family and the charity saw a huge surge in potential donors come forward, especially from ethnic communities.
We're delighted to say that Issa found a stem cell donor and has had that life-saving transplant. There he is, like you can see him after the op. And I know, and he's now at home recovering. We wish him and the family all the very best. Great news.
The best news ever. Perfect. That's all we've got time for tonight. Big thank you to our guests.
I will be back tomorrow with Gabby Logan, and we'll be joined by Strictly's Amy Dowden, and we'll be looking ahead to the Paralympics with Baroness Tanya Gray-Thompson and Billy Munger. Have a great evening. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.